Before I begin, please excuse me for the insect noise in the background. Okay, now with that out of the way, I am back and here is my first successful clear of floor 1 as a new player after a lot of months of inactivity. If you're wondering what happened to my main profile and why I'm starting out on a new profile, it is because I got wiped on my main profile for IRL trading, which I do admit to. I sold my stuff around mid-June and immediately, within 3 hours, got banned and wiped for 90 days. I recently got unbanned and decided to come back to Skyblock because I was bored. Okay, I'm not going to try and justify my actions, but the reason I sold my stuff is because I desperately needed money back then. I completely understand if you've lost respect for me. Feel free to unsubscribe and insult me because I'm fully expecting it to happen. I fully understand and respect your decision and opinion. My opinion is that I broke the rules and I fully deserve the punishment that I got. However, I would like to ask a favor if you do decide to slander me. Leave my family, friends and viewers alone as they did not do anything wrong. I alone am responsible and I alone will take responsibility for this. So please leave my family, friends and viewers alone. I know I'm not really in the position to be asking for favors, but please heed my one and only request for you. So for those of you that don't want to watch the video any further, feel free to click off of the video. I completely understand. Now as for those of you that would like to stay, I will start by explaining my equipment and how I got the equipment. Starting off with my pet. I ran a level 50 rare Enderman pet which I bought for around 2k coins on the auction house. It was initially level 1, but I slowly leveled it up through grinding combat and mining. I ran a 5-star rare Dreadlord sword that I got as a drop from my entrance runs and 3/4 zombie soldier armor, with the legging being a legendary piece that I got for around the same price as an epic zombie soldier leggings in the auction house. All my armor pieces are 3-star because I haven't farmed enough essence for it yet. My combat level when I did the run was Catacombs level 5 and my AOT is Ultimate Wise 3, but I can't use it due to my enchanting not being level 20. Ultimate Wise has a requirement of enchanting level 20, and because I'm not enchanting level 20, I can have the enchant, but it doesn't really do anything until I'm enchanting level 20. Also, I would like to mention that I did not take any form of contraband, did not do anything illegal, nor do I plan to. I have a Flower of Truth with good enchants, such as Sharpness 6, Scavenger 4, and etc. that I bought for around 5 mil in the auction house. But I did not use that Flower of Truth simply because I didn't think a lot of early game players will have a Flower of Truth, let alone one with good enchants. And for those of you wondering how I'm able to use a Flower of Truth without having cleared floor 6 or any catacombs as a matter of fact, the short answer is that this is Hypixel Skyblock. What did you expect? Okay, jokes aside, the long answer would be because there is no requirement to be able to use a Flower of Truth, which I think is unintended, but because it's there, I guess I'll use it because I'm not using any form of cheats. It's actually allowed. Hypixel actually did this. I do expect the admins to do something like change the requirements or whatever, but at the same time I really don't. But if they do, guess I'll have a Flower of Truth that I can't really use. But until then, I still have a Flower of Truth that I can use for overall purposes. Now, this is getting kind of off topic, so let's get back onto topic. Before you ask how I got the coins for the Flower of Truth, I got the coins within 24 hours of playing the game, along with a full set of Young Dragon and Unstable Dragon armor by abusing Jerry. Now, what did I mean by abusing Jerry? At the time of making this video, the current mayor is Jerry, and every 6 minutes, you can spawn a Jerry by gaining combat, foraging, farming, or mining XP. Now, I am not sure if this works with enchanting, alchemy, or fishing XP, but I've heard that enchanting and alchemy does not work. I am unsure about fishing as I haven't had any clarifications, but I am inclined to believe that it does work, but I could be completely wrong, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, now as I was saying, every 6 minutes I will go to the Mushroom Desert and dig sand with an efficiency 5 golden shovel and spawn a Jerry. By doing that, you're actually able to spawn a Jerry relatively quickly, within 1 to 2 minutes or even sometimes under 10 seconds, and sometimes instantly. By doing that, you can spawn Jerry really quickly. All you need to do next after knowing that is just to have a timer set up. To install the timer, you will need to be on Forge and install chat triggers. I'm not sure if there's a timer for Badline client or Lunar client, so if you use either of those, you'll need to check to see if there's an option. If for some reason you're using vanilla Minecraft, then you can use a vanilla timer by opening the clock app on your smartphone and set a timer for 6 minutes. I mean, you could do that with any client, but I guess that's not the point of the joke, huh? Anyway, you will need to be on Forge and have the mod chat triggers installed. Once you have that installed, simply type in the command /ct import Jerry timer and it will install a timer. Note, in Jerry timer there is no S at the end. It's JERRYTIMER, which is the one that's being shown on screen right now. Okay, after you do that, it will install a timer for you. And if you would like to edit the location of the timer, then just do /Jerry timer, and you can just drag it to wherever you want. So there's 4 Jerrys that you can spawn: green, blue, purple, and gold. Greens are worth 60k, blues are worth 80k, purples are worth 200k, and gold is between 900k to 1 million coins. I got a couple of golds which sped up my progression significantly. On the first day that I came back, I pulled a 16-hour stream, got a couple of golds, and did a lot of other stuff. I will be making a video on that as well, but I will work on that video after I'm done with this one. But it'll take me a while to edit it before the video will be ready, and I've been spending most of my time streaming instead of making the vid, so yeah, it'll probably take a while before that video is ready. Now, I would like to mention a couple of issues that I came across as an early game player grinding dungeons. The main issue that I came across as an early game player doing dungeons is that you don't really have a lot of mana to work with. Sure, in the video you can see that I have 2.5k mana, which isn't that bad, but when I grinded entrance, I had to use Fierce Unstable Dragon Armor over Sharp Flower of Truth without Bizarre Talismans. That netted me about 160 mana at the start, which is barely enough to get me 3 AoTE teleports. Only being able to teleport about 3 times isn't that great, let alone grind secrets fast. Even when I'm running 3/4 wise zombie soldier with dark goggles, you can't just spam your AoTE and get your secrets lightning fast. This alone costed me a lot of time for my dungeon runs. I barely have enough to spam my Dreadlord sword, even in my current armor set. So mana is going to be a prevalent issue until I can get my hands on a legendary sheep pet, which I will definitely work for. Hopefully with Dwarf Turtle Shelmet as well, because I'm not gonna lie, knockback is extremely annoying. Of course, my issue of dungeons compared to other early game players isn't exactly the same. Issues other early game players faced are not knowing where the secrets are, not knowing what to do, dying randomly because of positioning, and not using everything they have at their disposal. You can't really make the excuse of not having an AoTE or not doing enough damage, because I assure you, the only epic talismans I have are the free ones and the super cheap ones that are 100k or so. I only have like 29 out of 76 talismans, which for the early game player sounds like a lot, but 29 is extremely little compared to what most late game players, heck, even mid game players have. None of the gear I use are gears that are hard to get. In fact, most early game players that can enter the catacombs should be able to afford the gear that I currently run. You could argue that the AoTE costs 200k, and most players that are early game can't really afford that. But you can make a portion of the coins for the AoTE by simply buying packed ice from the builder and selling it to the bazaar. It's easy profit. After you make a little bit of money, you can just buy quartz block from the builder, go to SBZ or SBS or any other Discord server with late or endgame players that are bored and have them craft enchanted quartz for you, and you can sell that for more profit as well. That alone should be able to get you about, I don't know, 50k, 60k in terms of profit, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for early game players that's actually a pretty decent amount. Another thing that early game players could do for money to be able to afford an AoTE, it's simple. Every 5 days or so there's going to be a Jerry Island event, and during that Jerry Island event you can just go in and collect all 20 gifts. You can do the chicken race. After you do it the second time, you can get a gift compass. That compass can help you get all 20 gifts, and you can get them all under 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes actually. It's not going to take super long. And that alone can get you about 100k, which is about half the price for an AoTE, which is actually quite good. Early game players can also get a free cookie after playing for a while. When you use that cookie, after a while you'll be able to get bits. So what you can do with those bits is that you can use the bits to buy other stuff from the community shop, and whatever you buy, you can sell that to the auction house for profit. That can actually net you quite a decent bit that will be able to help out early game. With that alone, you should be able to afford AoTE, which is arguably the most expensive thing in my current setup right now. A minor issue I came across is that a lot of the fights take a while longer simply because I do not have any endgame armor, weapons, talismans, or pets that help me one-tap everything. Now of course this really isn't an issue, but it was something I needed to get used to at the start, but have since gotten accustomed to. The armor that I run has a Catacombs level 5 requirement, which meant that I had to grind entrance floors to get to Catacombs level 5 before I went on to floor 1. To use the gear that I have, and before you ask, I did every single dungeon run solo without any teammates at all while streaming to YouTube. The only teammates I had in my party were my viewers that helped me start the run, simply because you need 2 people to start a dungeon run, and they leave immediately to make sure that I'm the only person and I do not get any buffs from them. They can also not help me in any way, shape or form. Also, I would like to mention that if you see me online in Hypixel, I am most definitely streaming on YouTube. Anyway, I did mention that this run is the first successful floor 4 run, because in reality, I died about 3 times in the normal dungeon to mobs or mini bosses. And I even died to Bonzo once in the boss fight because of his second phase where he clowns around. Get it? Cause Bonzo is a clown? No? Okay, I'll stop. Sorry for the dad joke there, I just had to, I'm sorry. Okay, anyway, I seriously underestimated Bonzo's ability to deal damage because I had never struggled against him, apart from that one time I did Master Mode, but because this is not Master Mode, I had seriously underestimated his abilities. And I kid you not, I got 2-tapped by him. 2 of his balloons hit me and I immediately died. It was game over. So for the other early game players out there, don't get hit by the Bonzo balloons and hide behind the pillar when he spins around like the clown that he is. Alright, so moving on. A quick question for my viewers that are still watching this. Would you guys be interested to see a full dungeon crash course where I teach everything that a beginner to dungeons should know to learn how to play dungeons? It'll mostly be general tips that applies to every class and player, and most of the tips that I'll be given are gonna be tips for early game players or players that have never played dungeons before, which applies to late game and end game players that for some reason have never done dungeons before as well. So if you're interested in me in that, just let me know. I'll see when I can make a video like that. No promises though. Oh, and it started raining outside, so my mic will sound a little bit weird, like there's static to it, but it's actually just the rain. I tried removing background noise with Wondershare Filmora, but as you can tell from the quality of my voice, it sounds even worse than the rain itself. So, which is why I do not have that setting turned on. And I'm recording this voiceover as I'm about to turn the setting on to strong just to figure out what it sounds like. I'm actually genuinely curious what it sounds like, and I'm sure some of you out there are. Okay, so apparently turning it to strong just makes my voice quieter. So, which made me have to increase the volume of that last soundtrack by a little bit more compared to my usual one, so the volume's kind of messed up a little bit. But I'm gonna stop messing around with this anymore. I'm sure some of you found that somewhat entertaining, I hope. But moving on, I would like to say that I may longer be the sweat that I was, but I still know a thing or two about this topic, and the topic being dungeons. Mainly because I've invested hundreds of hours of my life into dungeons alone and not just Skyblock. On my old profile, in just about 6 months, I have about 2k, I think, 2k hour playtime, which I'm sure some people beat that, but personally, I'd say that not a lot of people can compare to the playtime that I have. I mean, some people may have more playtime than I do, but you need to factor in that the amount of playtime I have was within the span of 6 months. Yeah, that's quite a bit. And I would like to mention that it was without AFK, but I think that's enough flexing. It's kind of a little bit of a weird flex, but okay. And what was I saying again? Oh yeah, I may no longer be as fast as I used to, but give it a lot of time, and I will hopefully be able to come back as fast, if not faster than before. And with that, the run is just about over. As you can see on the screen, I got a perfect 315 score. And apparently Paul was mayor, so I didn't have to grab all the secrets, but hey, it's my first run, so I wanted all of the score, like all 315. And the amount of time it took for this single run was 13 minutes, which sounds bad, but all in all, I'd say 13 minutes for a solo floor 1 as a beginner. Hey, that's pretty decent. Peace out, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Get out of here.